this is a very important one for all of the people who think that the industry is the same. The music industry is basically the same. Things have changed a lot. And I feel as in a way that it's always kind of been like this, but it is so much easier to do what I'm going to say. So if you bring the money, labels will come, and when they do, you will not need them. It's weird because everyone, like it's an easy cop out to say like you're looking for the big deal. What do record labels do for you? This is an entirely different podcast episode that I will gladly do in the future, as I've done lots of research on this and I've been a part of this as well. What do record labels do for you? In some cases, it is a great thing to get signed to a record label. It's a great thing. I would say that 75% of the time, it is not a good thing. It might be higher than that. I am being very optimistic. 75% is very optimistic that it is a bad thing for you to sign for a record label. And here's a couple reasons why. Record labels, especially nowadays, are not going to sign you unless there is some sort of monetary gain for them, right? They're not going to sign you unless you have a whole bunch of people gearing up to buy merch, albums, stream your stuff, whatever, buy concert tickets, all that stuff. Record labels are looking for people who can actually sell, right? And especially now, when you have the ability to sell yourself and you get to that point, they're not going to take a chance on someone who just started. Like it has to be a record label who is like independent and just wants to take a chance on people. There's lots of those and they're great. I love what they do. But especially like the big labels, like, the Warner Medias or, the Interpol or whatever, Sony Music, all of those people, all the big ones, they do not care if you have potential. They're not looking for it. They're looking for money because they're a business. They're looking to make money. That's the only way they survive. That's the only way they continue is by making money. They're not in it for the creative gain of all humanity. They don't care. And to be fair, they shouldn't, because no one's going to say Sony Music changed the music landscape. No one says that. They say the artist name here did this amazing thing and pushed music forward, That's what they're going to talk about. They're not talking about the record label, unless you're like Def Jam or, anything like that. Different stuff. Record labels nowadays, they need someone who's going to bring the money, right? So here's a couple ways that you generally do that. First of all, there's streams on music, which is the most common way people listen to music nowadays. The other one is concert sales. Concert sales are ticket sales are huge. This is massive. Obviously right now that's not a thing, but that was one of the bigger draws is that if bands needed like a flux of cash, put on a tour. You're going to make money on that tour if you do it right. And then the other one is like merch sales and things along those lines. Merch is like a very broad topic, but there's all things that fall underneath merch and they're all unique to every single artist, right? But if you were able to bring in money from all of those, people are going to look at you and they're going to want to work with you because people follow the money. This is how they do it. Especially people who aren't like associated with like music as in making it themselves. They care about that less. Like they might think it's cool and it's like awesome to be a part of something, but if you bring in money, everyone's going to be following you, right? So real quick, record labels aren't going to take risk on someone who has not provided a clear path for them to gain monetarily from. So if you're not making money, if you don't have a whole bunch of fans clamoring for you to offer them something, whether that's a new album to listen to, new merch to have, or concerts to play for them to buy tickets to, if you don't have that, what is the incentive for them to give you that chance? For the off chance that like you are this huge, like Adele like artist, Beyonce like artist who like blows it up. Not everyone's Justin Bieber. There's one of those. You know what I mean? Like it does not happen very frequently. And also, if you look at it from their perspective, there's a dude who runs the record label. Underneath that is a whole bunch of subsidiaries, right? They all have to go to the dude and say, hey, I have this band here. I need X amount of dollars, which normally ends up being 100,000, 200,000, all the way up to like 500 to, even $1 million, which is crazy, but But when you're starting out, let's say like I need $60,000 to $100,000 to get this band from absolutely no fans to a point where we break even. Because it takes a lot to even break even. There's a lot of financial steps that get to that point for you to actually have enough to go out and what you're making money off of that. It is a big financial risk to do that, especially like in a quick time span. Because record labels aren't saying, hey, we'll do this 10 years from now, we'll make our money back. No, they're saying this is out 3 months from now when the album is released, I want all my money back or you have to pay me. That's generally what it is. But that's a huge risk. As a representative, I am not going to go to the head of my record label and say, hey, I need $100,000 for this band who no one's heard of. They don't have any followers. They don't have any fans. They don't have anyone buying merch from them, but they got cool music and I think that they would be really successful. Can I have $100,000, please? Person who you pitch that to is gonna fire you straight away. So for their survival, they're not gonna take a risk on someone who hasn't put any steps forward to get to that point. They're not gonna do that because that's not a solid financial risk. The risk reward does not outweigh each other because, so for instance, if they give you that loan for $100,000, you have to sell so much stuff to not only make that up, but to make a profit. All of the time and resources that they put into pushing that, even if it's like they put all of the work, is a huge risk to say that this is what people want to listen to. People are going to latch onto it. It's going to be big, especially if they're brand new. Like it just doesn't happen. They're not going to do it. And you should not ask them to do it because you don't know if right now the music that you're making, that this album is worth $100,000 over a 3-month period. You don't know that. You can't guarantee that, especially if you don't have like any way to compute that and to like pitch it to someone. This is a weird like backside to the music industry. You need to be able to make money for people. Otherwise, they're not going to work with you. But here's the caveat. Here's the twist. If you are able as an independent artist to grow, kind of what I am trying to do at this point, if you are able to continue to grow, be able to make your own merch offerings, make fulfillments to them, ship them out yourself, have your concerts, sell all those tickets, sell out the tickets by yourself. If you're able to do all that stuff, get your albums or your singles rocketed up the streaming charts and do that yourself, the break-even point is so much lower. You could spend $500 to release an album, right? $500. You do not have to have that many fans to buy your merch, stream your song, go to concert tickets or whatever, You don't have to have a lot to break even, to make $500 back and then get some. You don't need that many, right? How many do you think you need for $100,000? $100,000 versus $500. So let's say you start out, you accumulate $500, you put that money into marketing, all the merchandise that you have to buy, so that way you can make the merch, for people to purchase. So you have to buy like the product that you then sell, right? You act as the business owner of your brand, which is the band itself. If you're able to do that and make money by yourself, and you are slowly able to accumulate that and make a profit or break even at the beginning and then continuously grow to, make an actual profit from it, then eventually what's going to happen, someone is going to see that. Those record label reps, they're going to see this guy is making a splash because people are going to be talking about you. They're going to say how awesome this song is or like how well this album is doing, They're going to be talking about your growth. And it's not going to happen in the beginning. It'll be probably a few years before anything like drastic happens. But if you're able to continue to do that, record labels are going to come to you. Agents are going to come to you. Brands and anyone who wants to work with you, they're going to come to you. You know why? Because you are now bringing them money. And at that point, you have to make the decision. Do I want a record label? Do I need one?